What is up, everybody? Thank you for joining us on this. I'm going to call it Overreaction Lunes with the Compas. I'm Fernando Ramirez. I cover the Chargers for the Sporting Tribune. With me, as always, my co-host, my tag team partner, Gilberto Manzano. He covers the NFL for Sports Illustrated. What's up, bro? Long time no see.
I know. I just saw you yesterday at SoFi Stadium for that shootout between the Dolphins and the Chargers, but we'll get into it eventually. We are here live from my room and your room, but week one, overreactions is the correct word.
It really is because, I mean, for some teams, the sky is falling. For other teams, oh my God, we're Super Bowl bound. For the Arizona Cardinals, I don't know what the mood is right now.
We're fighting and being competitive. I like it.
Exactly. But yeah, no, like we said, overreaction Monday. It's interesting the way kind of people settle down after the week keeps on going and everything. But Gilbert, I mean, like we said, we saw each other at SoFi Stadium, and it had been a little bit since we had seen each other, probably since training camp. But interesting to be back at SoFi Stadium. Interesting to be back together. It had been a season since you last covered the Chargers when you were with the OC Register. We hadn't been together there, so it was pretty cool to be at the same place. Even though we talked a little bit at the beginning, but then it kind of everything died down because as soon as the game started, it was go time.
Yeah, it was funny because I didn't really realize that it was my first Chargers game to cover. I guess I did cover that Rams Chargers game last year. That did count. So maybe that's why I didn't feel unique.
I forgot about that actually.
But there was a point there when I was seeing Tyreek Hill running down the field. I'm like, hey, it's my first Chargers game since I left the beat. So that was kind of a cool reflection moment. And it was cool to see you. You stopped by. We chatted. Maybe we talked some crap a little bit. We had fun. And then you saw me have to get on the red zone and watch all the games for my coverage or at SI, but it worked out being at SoFi.
So was it basically business as usual for you? I remember you barely would watch the last but probably about the last quarter because you were so busy trying to write stuff that you wouldn't watch the last quarter. And I'd be like, dude, did you see that thing where blah, blah, blah? And you'd be like, whoa, no, I didn't see that. So was that kind of like how it was for you?
A little bit, you kind of like it's still deadline, right? So you look down, you type, you watch a different game, you look up like, oh, another play from Austin Eckler, oh, another play from Tyreek Hill, another play from Justin Herbert and Tua. The funny thing, I was sitting next to Tyler Dragon, friend of the show, great last name, the Dragon.
He's
like, where's JC Jackson now? Where's he at? And we were all looking, and it wasn't good for the secondary. But it's good to always be around with people, and like I don't want to work from home, but I'll do it tonight for the Monday Night Football game.
Yeah, people in the comments, chill. We're gonna get to you guys in a second. We're just relax. RELAX. We got you guys. We appreciate. Hey, we appreciate everybody
engaging though.
Yeah, exactly. We appreciate you guys for jumping on. If you guys have a comment, question, or anything, jump in. Let us know. Obviously, we love to talk to you guys, to listen to you guys. Gilbert, let's get into it because obviously the comments are
okay. There we go. I like the engagement. Why not? We're gonna
people are excited. Yeah, exactly. So 9 out of the 14 road teams won over the weekend, which, like we said, it's week one. Like week one, everybody kind of, you pick and choose some things, but then you kind of throw some other things away. Why? Because it's where everybody's kind of, it's a filling out process, especially for some teams like the Chargers. I think like the Rams, who didn't play their starters during the preseason, so this is kind of like the first game action that they've seen in a while. But obviously we're going to start off with the Chargers because both of us were there at SoFi Stadium. The Chargers end up losing 36-34 to the Miami Dolphins. Gilbert, we all know 466 passing yards by Tua Tagovailoa, 215 yards by Tyreek Hill on his own, 2 touchdowns. It was crazy to see. It was crossing routes at the beginning, and then in the last quarter it was go long. They can't stop it, go long. So I mean, it's just interesting to see that. But let's just go a little bit to the comments real quick.
Go ahead
to your reaction. Guys, the sky is not falling. It's one game. I love our offense. We will be okay. I know it was a bad defensive performance. However, it's one game. I have trust and faith in my coach, and I'm not ready to give up. There you go. Like, there's some positivity there. Positivity Monday. Obviously, a good start to the week. So there you go. Some positivity. So that's good. Here's another one. It's fine. The defense will pick it up this week. I'm not going to overreact. They will start gelling together after a game. The offense will probably be the same this week, then pick it up next. So obviously there's some positivity there. I'm going to answer this question real quick, Gilbert, because we just talked to Brandon Staley. How is JC health wise? Brandon Staley just told us that he is fine, that he is they just at the end they took him out because they wanted to give a different change in personnel, but I mean it's not like Jazier Taylor did all that much better. But they said that he's good, that he's fine and that he is healthy. And then obviously that leads me to my next one. How does Staley instill confidence in JC when he's constantly playing bad and benching him? I'm going to go real well. No, I'm going to let you take this one away. Gilbert, what do you think?
Yeah, first of all, I do appreciate Brandon Staley being honest when he was asked flat out, what did you think of JC Jackson's performance? He's like, not good, not good at all. And you got to be honest. So that's where you start. You be honest with your star player who got paid a lot of money a year ago. He's coming back from an injury. I think that's the start right there. Like, hey, you were hurt, you battled back. That was step one. We're going to let you play and start the game. So the confidence was already there. So if you're not playing well, man, we gave you a chance. I think that's the way Brandon Staley should approach it. Like, hey, maybe one more game. You're playing Tennessee. It's not as explosive, not even close to what you're going to see with Tyreek Hill and the Dolphins. If you do okay here, then we're fine. But if he struggles against Treylon Burks, and I guess DeAndre Hopkins is there, but I don't know how much of Hopkins' prime he has left. But it was like another disaster. You got to pull the plug early, and it wasn't. But again, he also said it wasn't just J.C. Jackson. Michael Davis, Vato, he struggled, but also that was a nice pass on the fade, the go-ahead touchdown from Tua. What else can you do? But overall, that secondary struggled. They couldn't get a pass rush. The way I see it, Fernando, and I get coaches are going to take the blame all the time, but it should be the blame on Brandon Staley. I get one of the comments says, don't overreact, but I'm guessing a lot of Chargers fans are tired of seeing the same thing 2+ years now, and you had the entire offseason to prepare for the Dolphins. You're healthy, they're healthy. What can you do in the next 6 months to figure this out? And you go and you lay an egg like that defensively. Khalil Mack, Derwin James, Joey Bosa, those guys, 0 sacks, no interceptions, nothing. Well, Jesse Jackson got the interception, by the way. But there wasn't that many impact plays. And after a while, you start feeling like the excuses get tiring for Brandon Staley. He is the guy with the defensive background. His mentor, Vic Fangio's on the other side. He also struggled. He understands what's going on. But when Jalen Phillips got that sack on Justin Herbert, they made the plays. Where were the plays for the Chargers defense? That's the thing I asked. But thank you for the ding. But overall, it must be really frustrating for Chargers fans.
Did you notice though, Vic did not really rush the passer all that much with more than 4. He waited until the key moment to do that in the final drive. That's when he sent most of his guys in there, and they were able to get there twice.
There was a cornerback on that sack too with Jalen.
Exactly. Phillips. They sent for most of the game, they hadn't really sent all that much pressure. He waited until the final drive to throw the pressure at them that they hadn't seen, and I think they were overwhelmed. So that was very impressive by Vic. I mean, I understand that the whole game your defense had been struggling, stopping the run, doing everything. But that's what a defense with a bright future has. The moments when you need it, boom, they're able to get there. Instilling confidence in JC Jackson, I just don't know. It's going to have to happen on the field. I mean, I thought the bright spot was going to be that interception. I thought, he's going to feel good. And then he kind of jumped out of bounds, and he should have just taken a knee there. Because think about it. That's what set up everything. He goes, he gets out of the 7-yard line. Justin Herbert gets sacked at the 1-yard line. Then they punt on the very next play. Tua goes deep to Tyreek Hill, who's covering him, JC Jackson.
That's a great point by you. He was so close to making a big play, then he goes and takes it out.
Exactly. So that was a little rough to see that, but
let's get to some of these comments. I actually like some of these. I like the engagement here.
Yeah. God, that's gonna be the most. By the way, tonight.
Hey,
the final night. Yeah, it fights me. Tonight is the final night that Vince McMahon will be in control of Monday Night Raw. It's an end of an era, Gilbert, but we're not here. Nobody's here to listen to me rant about wrestling. So Morgan says, I feel like they didn't use the secondary the right way. DJ should have been a spy on Hill. Seems DJ wasn't in on the plays to Hill. It seems to me, and I don't know how you see, I thought Mike McDaniel kind of took a page out of Belichick in a sense and went away from DJ a lot of the plays. It's kind of like, let's attack them other ways. Let's do this. Let's do that. I was very surprised in that way too, because there is a lot of inexperience at the safety position. I mean, Alohi Gilman has been there, but JT Woods is brand new. I kind of agree with that. And the other thing was they weren't pressing Gilbert like they were last year. I don't know if like they kind of got nervous that, hey, let's not do the same thing we did last year because we know that they're gonna change things up. But man, Tyreek Hill's a small guy. Like I'm surprised with Vato, you just didn't go up and jam him at the line or try and do something to kind of disrupt him a little bit, maybe shove him. Heck, even at times, bring down Derwin, have Derwin be the one that locks him up, then have him go away, and then the corner can take care of him, and then Derwin can do whatever he's doing, but at least chip him or do something off the – because at times he was in the slot doing the damage. So I was very I thought that was a little bit disappointing as well, the game planning and the lack of adjustments. I just didn't think that they adjusted all that well, and it goes back to last year. I mean, Gilbert, I know Joe Lombardi took a lot of heat because in the second half they wouldn't score points. Where is it now? I mean, the offense scored 17 in the first half. Offense scored 17 in the second half. You can't blame the offense for what's happening here.
Well, let me ask you a question because I thought it was a little strange how heavy they ran the football, and they did a good job. Finally,
around the horn, or which one? No, which one? Around the horn.
But they had two running backs actually contributing, not Austin Eckler by himself, Joshua Kelly. But let me ask you this, Fernando, because when you're in a shootout and it's all about scoring points, I want to see more downfield shots. Yeah. But I wonder how gassed the defense was, where Kellen Moore is kind of like handcuffed. Like, you want me to call more run plays to give you guys time to chill and settle down? All right, I'll do it. It's working, but it's kind of like not really getting us in the groove because we spent all offseason talking about the four wide receivers, Quentin Johnson and Josh Palmer. Where were those guys when times got tough? Herbert went to over-reliable, Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. But there was
Williams only had 4 catches for 47 or 40-something yards. Like last year, he took advantage of them for 116. Like Eli Apple was playing cornerback for the opposing team. You only went at him 4 times.
Well, let me ask you the question. Do you think they were forced to run the football because the defense was so tired going up and that they were so quickly going down on the field?
Have you ever seen the play where Buddy Ryan comes up to the offensive coordinator of the Bears and he's like, stop throwing the damn ball, and he like punches the offensive coordinator in the face? That's kind of what that must have been like. But I agree with you. Like, what? Like, I understand like your defense was gassed and everything, but you have to match stride for stride. And if you could have scored quick, then go down the field. Yesterday, the only down the field pass that I saw was the one to Keenan Allen. The one where he goes down and he the other one was the Austin Eckler, but that was a check down that turned into a 35-yard gain. But other than that, I was just very disappointed in the fact that they didn't take more shots. And I understand, okay, maybe your guys are gassed and everything, but it's just bad. It was a bad look. But Gilbert, let's get to these comments a little bit more. Gilbert, somebody has a question for you. Gilbert, Chargers were up 24-20 in the third. 1 at 40, they couldn't stop the run. What were they doing throwing the ball? Oh, basically what you just asked me about running the football and everything. So they were asking you. So what do you think?
I probably read the comment. That's why I got it in my head. But yeah, I just don't understand it. Like I thought Justin Herbert played okay, but it wasn't a great performance. And then,
I don't know how much was on him either. So
yeah, I get it, but I know people don't want to hear this, but I was really impressed with Tua. And when you're only playing, when you're just going to one guy and you know what's coming every single time and you still can't stop it, that's a major defensive problem. I wish Herbert was a little more aggressive, but that could be the play call. It was 50-50. I wish the wide receivers got more involved. But overall, it kind of felt like a simple game plan. Well, you know what? And when it was, like you mentioned, the fans didn't throw pressure until the end. So why are we going to the same well all over again? Keenan Allen, like little short pass here. But it's nice to see Joshua Kelly step up. But this is not the offense that I expected. But it's also hard when your defense isn't doing squat. So say the defense does something, a couple more stops and just was it one punt, Fernando? They get 3, maybe, I don't know, maybe 4, as asking for too much. They maybe win that game by 10 points. But
Yeah.
you needed her to be Superman, but he didn't do that. It was Tyreek and Tua. And I get that Tua and Tyreek do this to a lot of people last year, but that was a special performance. That's a performance you're going to remember for a long time, and it happened to the Chargers. And you could ask our guy, Joe Reedy, for all the stats of how bad it was defensively because it was that type of day.
I didn't like the play calling down at the goal line when they kicked that field goal. I thought they should have gone for the throat and scored a touchdown, but I thought they kind of played it safe there. And that kind of brought me back to the old, like, Norv Turner, Mike McCoy, like those old kind of days where at the end of games, they kind of rely and they think, oh, we can stop them. Like, our defense can give us one stop. No, they couldn't. Like, in the second half, it was interception, touchdown, field goal, touchdown, touchdown. Like, they punted once. Like, that, and that's kind of, I mean, I guess that's kind of the problem. But just real quick, before we move on, Morgan is asking, what do we think of Bash and the pressure down the middle? I mean, Brandon told us right now, Gilbert, that maybe the things that we saw weren't the same things that they saw, but that they thought that they had pressure, that they were pressuring consistently.
Yeah, right.
I 0 sacks, like it just like I understand Tua gets the ball out quickly. Yes, I get it.
Yeah, he did say that.
0 sacks is not good. Like regardless, like
that's the thing.
A lot of money on that defensive line.
Like at the point, like the way Mike McDaniel played that offense. Like he said, F the running game, and I'm going to go down the field because it's working every time. I wish I would have signed for Kellen Moore, but again, I don't know how much he was handcuffed by Staley and his terrible defense. But I'm ready to move on to the second down.
Yeah. Real quick, just last one. We need to use Darius Davis for his speed, Q for his size, and throw Van. Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess
people. I like that.
Yeah, I get that. Spread the ball around. There's a lot of mouths to feed, but don't worry about that. Let's do that. I get it. We appreciate your guys' comments, but we are going to move on now. Gilbert,
stick around.
Stick around. We're going to move on though. Gilbert, I'm going to let you choose. Where are we going next?
Is it Dallas and the Giants? Speaking of embarrassing performances, there we go. 40-0. The Giants were crushed embarrassingly. There you go. If you're a Chargers fan and you felt disappointed and you go and watch the Giants, you feel much better because they were just embarrassed. And Fernando, I don't know if you're ready to hear this, but the Cowboys are for real. That's a dominant defense, and special teams made plays too. And I really like the pieces on the Cowboys. We're kind of start talking slowly. We still haven't seen Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott be called upon to call good plays, but when you got CeeDee Lamb and Tony Pollard, you're in a good spot with a very dominant defense sometimes. And by the way, Chargers fans will really wish to have that defense. So I'm in on the Cowboys being a pretty good team. What about you?
I guess it's Overreaction Monday for a reason.
I know you're not a Cowboys fan or you don't really like them, but give me your actual.
I like their defense, but like Trevon Diggs, I just can't I can't trust him. The Giants' offensive line, dear God Almighty, like Daniel Jones at one point, Gilbert, was not a quarterback. He was a running back. Like the dude was looking to take off running every single time that he would drop back, and that's kind of what disrupted them. I know he got the ball to Darren Waller. I thought they moved the ball actually not bad. It's just stupid mistakes would happen at certain points when they got on their side of the field, and that's obviously going to hurt you. But no, kudos to the Cowboys. I mean, a lot of people counted them out. I didn't think they were going to win this game. I thought the Giants might.
I picked the Giants too, actually.
Yeah. I thought they were going to do a number on them and kind of establish themselves a little bit and be like, look, last year wasn't a fluke. Like, we really are this good. And the Cowboys come out and they're flying around. And like you mentioned, Tony Pollard, 2 touchdowns. Like you said, Dak, I mean, he wasn't all that impressive. 13-24, 143. CeeDee Lamb, 4 for 77. I thought this game was more about the defense and what they did to set these guys up to score. I mean, you had a pump block or a blocked field goal that you returned for a touchdown. Mm-hmm. You had an interception return for a touchdown. And then obviously the 2 Tony Pollard runs and then Turpin added to it. So I'm going to pump my brakes a little bit. Yes, the defense is good, but that offense, I need to see a little bit more from that offense before I can crown them and say it's going to be 49ers against Cowboys in the NFC Championship the way a lot of people have. That offense, I need to see a little bit more from that offense before I can completely give it to them. But hey, that defense, I mean, that pass rush was just at will getting to Danny Dimes turning to Danny Pennies. So it was not a good look. Saquon didn't look all that comfortable. Nobody looked comfortable on that team.
Well, let me give you a little more Cowboys praise, and I'm gonna go to the Giants. But I didn't really change my mind on Dak Prescott the way he is a quarterback. I think he's still a very good quarterback. He's not an elite quarterback. But if he has that defense clicking, and say that defense is just as good as the 49ers defense or even better, they look pretty good. Like maybe they'll be better. We'll see if they're a special defense that you remember, and that special team is also making plays. It's rare when special teams makes plays like that. You won't get that every single week. I get that. But if they're good, those two phases are really solid. And all you need from Dak Prescott to throw to CeeDee Lamb and to run it with Tony Pollard is like 20 points to win the game.
So what you want is him to turn into Peyton Manning of 2015, where you don't mess it up. Just go in there, put up some points, and don't F this up because you have a good thing going. That's basically what you're telling me.
Oh, for sure. But I know there's going to be a moment where they're going to ask him, but he needs to make the throws, and we'll find out then. But I like this blueprint for Dak Prescott. But let me give you some quick takeaways on the Giants, man. I felt really bad for Saquon Barkley. Maybe I should, because he's going to be a rich person regardless of whatever happens. But, the way I saw it was like he passed on the contract offers from the Giants and he bet on himself. Nothing wrong to bet on yourself, but he also betted on Daniel Jones. He also betted on his offense to make him look good. You ain't getting paid if you're looking that terrible every single week. So I feel like if they keep struggling and the season's over and he's trying to get more money, he might not get what he wants because he bet on the Giants.
Vic, the producer, I agree with what you just sent us. He just said, can Cowboys and Giants be out of Sunday Night Football? Thank God somebody else said it. I've been saying that for years. It's like a tradition, not like unlike any other tradition that nobody wants, like except for Cowboys and Giants fans, but everybody else, like
maybe not even Giants fans anymore.
I know. Like I hate having that game on Sunday Night Football. Why didn't you put the Dolphins against the Chargers on Sunday Night Football or the 49ers and the Steelers or something better like that? And I get it. Jerry Jones, the Cowboys are the most profitable team in the NFL. We get it. But it's like, dude, come on. Like, nobody wanted to see that. Like, and I get it. Like, viewership is probably going to come out in a little bit, and they're going to be like, oh, we broke these. It's incredible that every week they're breaking this record and that record. But I mean, I get it, I guess. But yeah, Gilbert, the Giants, I think maybe need to settle down a little bit, but I just don't know what. Like, I want to see more from the Cowboys. I'm really interested in what these next few weeks are going to be like. Their defense, though, I mean, Stephon Gilmore adds a different dimension to that, for sure. Like, Jesus Navarro saying, yeah, 49ers versus Steelers would have been solid. Yeah, it would have. Like, that would have been a good Sunday Night Football game. Like, that would have been fun to see Christian McCaffrey, they would have driven that Nick Bosa thing home. Like, he's home. He just got here on Thursday and he's already making an impact.
That was still a blowout, but it would have been better because at least the Steelers scored 7 points and the Giants scored nothing.
And then obviously the terrible towels in the fourth quarter, Renegade, everything going. Like, that would have been fun. But yeah, I just need to see a little bit more from this Cowboys team. Yeah, but I am impressed. I am impressed by the Cowboys.
I'll take it.
The offense is just the only concerning part to me. I need to see a little bit more. And I could tell at one point, I know they were up, but CeeDee Lamb, I don't think was too happy that he didn't get
many
a little
balls.
bit more. Yeah, like
what can you do? It's a blowout. It was 26-0 by the second quarter. He's gonna be like
right back in WWE. Feed me more. Feed me more.
He needs to get paid too, actually. So maybe you're right.
Oh God. Oh, did you hear that? He wants more money. That WWE isn't offering him enough. Yeah. Good luck, dude. You haven't even won a championship and you're trying to negotiate for more money.
Save it for Barry of the week the next day.
Yeah, I know, exactly. Gilbert, next one.
Yeah.
Let's go. Steelers, 49ers, or Bengals and Browns? No, Bengals and Browns. Let's do that.
Okay, this is where the overreactions are legit because I'm just saving it. I'm just saying it to save my behind because my Super Bowl pick, Fernando, the Bengals, and they do not look like a Super Bowl Bengals. But yeah, they struggle. Joe Burrow has 82 passing yards. They didn't even score a touchdown. Hey, but you know what I really like, Fernando? Jamar Chase doubled down by calling the Browns the Elves again because you're not gonna panic. You're like, oh, I regret saying it. No, they're still the elves to us. We're still the best in the team in the division. I like that mindset, but they got their butt whooped. I'll say that.
I I didn't get one of these. I was kind of disappointed. Like I
Do you
like
have
seeing.
Chase on a fantasy team or what?
No. I had T Higgins and Joe Burrow,
Oh,
so that was a rough day. By the way, I think it'd be a monumental disappointment if the Bengals let go of T
oh,
Higgins.
I'm with you.
I mean, it's gonna be ugly if they let him go. But going back to what you were saying, I understand but I'm with you. I think the Bengals are going to be fine. The kids are all right. Like the Bengals are going to be fine. It's an overreaction. Why? Because they just looked ugly, but it was raining. Burrow didn't have a preseason. Basically, he got hurt in one of the first few training camp practices. So I think they're going to be fine. I'm not going to overreact to this. I want to say that the Browns look really good, but then Jack Conklin tears his ACL, right tackle. That's going to be a huge loss for them, in my opinion. Or who knows? Maybe they have a Jamari Sawyer on their team and he comes in and they plug him in at right tackle and he does well. But it is concerning as of right now. But their defense look good. Do you see Myles Garrett putting the ball in between his legs like if he was playing basketball? Like all I could think
I
about
didn't
there
see
was
that one
we're
actually.
playing basketball, putting it like he was staring down Burrow and he's just like putting the ball in between his like pretending like he has a basketball. I'm like, dude, that's like the ultimate shade of confidence there, I think. But
When we get called L's, man, you got to do something back.
yeah, no, exactly. But Nick Chubb was Nick Chubb, 106 yards. Watson ran one in. I thought Watson looked a lot more composed, more sure of himself. You know, last year he kind of looked like a deer in the headlights. But I mean, even Watson wasn't all
He's
that
still kind
impressive.
of
16
yeah,
of
he kind of
29,
struggled.
154, one touchdown, one interception. What'd
Yeah,
you say?
he still struggled to me. I thought.
Yeah. No. I thought so too. I didn't think he was all that composed. Dustin Hopkins, former Chargers kicker, he had 3 field goals. Deshaun Watson had his run, and then obviously he passed for a touchdown. So it's just I think this says more about the Bengals and where they're at than it does like, oh wow, like yeah, here come the Browns. I'm gonna wait a little bit when it comes to that. I hope Uncle
Yeah,
Joe's not listening because he'll wring my neck for that one. But yeah, I'm not buying the brownies all that much right now.
yeah.
Or I'm not buying them yet.
I'll give my analysis more on the Browns because again I'm okay with the Bengals and a quick story from today from doing research. I was okay. I saw that they lost to the Steelers last year. I forgot about that. And the Bengals were down 0-2 in the record a year ago, but they won 12 out of the last 14 games. And I kid you not, Fernando, I spent 5 minutes trying to figure out how am I miscounting? Why is it 16 games here? And I forgot about the game with the Bills and Damar Hamlin that they didn't get a 17 game. I was like, oh, I forgot about that. But yeah, 12 out of the last 14 after starting 0-2. Bengals will be fine. I don't expect them to go 0-2 again. Well, they do play the Ravens. That could be a tough game. They are at home. We'll find out. But my Myles Garrett prediction to be Defensive Player of the Year is looking kind of nice for now because he has some help. So Darius Smith still has plenty left in the tank. They got Dalvin Tomlinson, the nose tackle from the Vikings. So it like I feel like Garrett got those pressures and that one sack with ease because now there's a bunch of help with the defensive front and they got some good cornerbacks back there. So I think the defense could be pretty good. I'm not saying they're going to be Cowboys good or 49ers good, but they'll be pretty legit. Now, the question is, can the Browns offense figure it out? Because you just mentioned injuries to the offensive line. Nick Chubb is a year older. He's still going to be Nick Chubb, but do they even have a second guy as a running back? Remember, Kareem Hunt was kind of helping out a lot. And can Deshaun Watson finally figure it out? Can you name a good wide receiver in that team? Like I know Amari Cooper's still there, but I don't really like the Browns offense, but I do like the defense. I'll say that.
By the way, if we're gonna toot our own horns and
Week
talk
one, yeah.
about Jalen Carter Gilbert, 90.5 pass rushing grade, 8
Oh yeah.
pressures and 1 sack. So I
Okay.
mean the dude's crazy. I mean, he there you go. But yeah, yeah, you're right about the receivers part of it. I mean, I know a lot of Browns fans really are high on Donovan's Peoples-Jones. I know they're high on obviously Amari Cooper, but Amari 3 catches 37. Elijah Moore, I was surprised, 3 for 43. Yeah, but there's nothing here that jumps out at you. It's kind of like, I mean, and I'm not trying to be negative or anything, but it's kind of like the what's it called? it's kind of like the Giants and Cowboys game for me. Like, just nothing very impressive that I like. If I was the Bengals fans, I wouldn't be nervous because they usually do start off slow. But if you lose to the Ravens, who I thought the Ravens struggled as well yesterday, and then they lost J.K. Dobbins for the
Oh yeah.
year.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, and then Ronnie Staley, I think, got injured. I don't know if he went back or not, but I remember I saw something that he got injured. But I thought the Ravens struggled as well. So these two going at it is going to be very interesting. I'm very excited for that game. And I think that Jaguars Chiefs game, both are very interesting.
Oh, that's already week 2. Okay.
Yeah, 10 a.m.
I like that.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued for the Bengals and the Ravens. And I know, yeah, real quick, I don't know when I talk about the Ravens, but I thought there were some pieces there with the offensive game. You could tell they're really trying to push it down the field, and it's going to be a struggle because that's not what they're used to. They're used to running the football, and now with the J.K. Dobbins, they kind of have to be this aerial attack, and that's not who they are. So I'm very intrigued to see how they do it. Will it feel comfortable, or will Lamar just go back to doing what he does well, is just kind of running and then throwing whenever he can?
Well, not just that, but like Zay Flowers, 9 catches, 78 yards.
Not bad, yeah.
Odell, 2 for 37. Bateman, 3 for 35. I mean, he was 17 and 22, 169 and a pick. So even he didn't feel comfortable. The running game wasn't all that much to tout about. I mean, it was a Dobbins touchdown. Hill scored 2 touchdowns. So there wasn't much. Another one. There wasn't much there from the Ravens that even impresses you either. So, and they were playing CJ Stroud, the rookie. So their offensive line is depleted. So I'm a little hesitant on Baltimore too, just because of I thought they kind of struggled as well on Sunday. But I mean, I guess Lamar's first game back, he was injured toward the back end of last season. But that's another team. I mean, if they end up not making the playoffs, what's John Harbaugh's future like? I think that's another team that there is questions about the head coaching position, but yeah, no, not a good look there. But Gilbert, last one, ready to go?
Yeah, let's do it.
49ers come out of the gate, and I'll be the first one to it, and I'm not even overreacting to this yet. I'm still hesitant. But I was one of the ones criticizing Brock Purdy. I'm like, could he do it consistently? What's he going to look like? For the time being, he has quieted me a little bit. 19 and 29, 220, 2 touchdowns. Brandon Ayuk, I don't know. I don't think he's gotten that contract extension. He's going to be wanting big time money. I mean, the dude, he was targeted 8 times. Made 8 receptions for 129 yards and 2 touchdowns. I told people that wanted fantasy football advice, I was like, I would go with Ayuk more than I would Deebo Samuel. You're crazy. I'm like, I'm just saying. I mean, obviously, it's just week 1 overreaction Monday, but looks like I was right for the time being. So, but Ayuk just looked like a man possessed out there. And then Christian McCaffrey also.
Well, the thing with Ayuk and Deebo, like Deebo's not a traditional wide receiver, so you have to kind of game plan, and maybe it takes a while for him to get the ball. And when he does, he's dangerous and explosive. But Ayuk kind of reminds me a little bit of T. Higgins. I think maybe Ayuk's a better route runner, not as big as T. Higgins, but they kind of do a little bit of everything as a number 2. But they could probably be a number 1 on a different team. So I do like Brandon Ayuk. And real quick, I'll read the comment here, but for Morgan, 49ers are for real. Great play calling by Shanahan. Yes, they are very for reals. They might be my best team in the NFC. I don't know about the overall NFL, but we'll figure it out during our power poll. Comes out tomorrow or Wednesday. I forget what day, Fernando. But for overreaction week 1 Mondays, I got a couple. One is the Cowboys being really, really good. And the other is I'm ready to say, man, Brock Purdy is a real deal. And I've been saying that since training camp. And when people were bashing me about the Trey Lance negativity that I said, that Trey Lance has struggled. Where's Trey Lance? He's over there with the Cowboys. I'm waiting for my apology about the Trey Lance comments. And then I want 49er fans to finally agree. Brock Purdy's a real deal. Like, you think Shanahan and John Lynch are going to just give away the guy they traded 3 first-round picks for? No, they knew what they had in Brock Purdy. And he showed it out and balled out in the Steelers game. That guy is confident, man. He knows where he's going with the football, and he has so many great weapons. I think he's a better version than Jimmy G, And sometimes with a loaded roster, that's all you need. And I think he could get them to the promised land.
I still see them making a trade for not a quarterback.
Yeah,
Maybe
they're
a
set.
receiver or something like that. They always tweak the roster during
You know
the
what they
season.
need, man. They're so loaded offense and defense. Like I was worried about the Ufanga injury, but he returned and he made a couple big plays. Like man, they're loaded everywhere.
Can you imagine these guys with Mike Evans? If the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traded Mike Evans, like that would be crazy. But
well, they didn't give him a contract, so I could see a trade. But I don't know about the 49ers.
No, I know, but I'm just wishful thinking, I guess. They sacked Kenny Pickett 5
Yeah, get to
times
the Steelers
yesterday.
and
Can you I need to get to the Steelers and I wasn't when you tout a quarterback during preseason and everybody gets excited about him, like everybody was for Kenny Pickett, I'm like, red flag. Like you don't want to date her. Like she's sloppy. You don't want that kind of, you don't want to bring that to mom. So I'm like, red flag. Boom. Week 1, this is not an overreaction. I don't think Kenny Pickett is for real. I think they have really good weapons on that team, but I am a little bit interested to see what they're gonna do moving forward with Kenny Pickett. But he doesn't look like he's it, to be honest.
got an appearance from the gato here.
Oh, there you go. Is he naked?
Yeah, he's naked. Yeah, Caroline's brother made a joke. I have 2 cats. One is kind of more like skittish, and this one's naked. So he called them naked and afraid. That's the nickname for the 2 cats. There you go.
Now he looks like Dr. Evil. Dr. Evil's cat when they're in cryospace and everything, and it's all naked. Pigglesworth.
Yeah. Well, let me give you my Steelers analysis, and you're right on the Kenny Pickett thing, and I'm kind of kicking myself because that was the one thing I really bought into preseason, and I hate preseason. But Kenny Pickett looked very confident and pushing the ball down the field, and maybe it's not his entire fault because that running game, like what's going on with Najee Harris, man? Like they really struggle with running the football there.
Give it to Nosh,
I guess, but he didn't do anything with it, and I think he looked like it. Kenny Pickett wanted to push on the field, push the ball, and he was confident. They fell behind pretty early, but when you only score 7 points and you're at home and you only get 240 yards total, I get the 49ers are really good, but you got embarrassed. You didn't put up a fight, and to not put up a fight for a Mike Tomlin coach team, that's really surprising to me. And they have a good defense too. So I don't get what happened with Kenny Pickett. I'm starting to jump the ship there, but I'm glad I didn't pick him for my playoff team, because the AFC is just so loaded, and you're not going to compete when your quarterback isn't doing much. You got to have what Tua did with the Dolphins to put up a fight in this loaded AFC.
Morgan, I said the same. When they got Javon Hargrave, I said this is a big move for the 49ers. Why? Because you just added more talent to that 49ers defensive line that obviously features Nick Bosa. By the way, Nick Bosa to come in, and obviously Gilbert and I both know that the Bosa, we've covered the Bosa brothers. They're always in fantastic shape. They're always good, but to come in without any like practice, anything, to come in and be ready to go, man, that's crazy. Like that's the defensive line for them. And then you had Drake Jackson, who's from USC, by the way, a USC graduate. He had 3 sacks yesterday for the 49ers. So now you just have so many guys now on that defensive line that can get after it. Oh, and then, hey, by the way, you got Frank Warner, you got Greenlaw. You have playmakers on all those facets of your defense. They're dominating defense. And back to your point about Purdy, the fact that he did it against a defense that everybody, I think we all believe that is one of the best defenses in the NFL, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, that's even more impressive. What they did as a whole against the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, that was very impressive by the 49ers offense. So if both can get rolling, man, I think the sky really is the limit for this 49ers team, just because you kind of felt like, oh, what direction are they going to go with in the offseason? Are they going to keep Brock Purdy? Are they going to give Trey Lance the opportunity? They decided to go with Brock Purdy. They've said it from the beginning. That's our quarterback, and they're sticking to him. So now they're full steam ahead, and I really do believe that they're one of the best teams in the NFL.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, and I kind of like that Brock Purdy had a little jab for Patrick Peterson in the press conference because I think Patrick Peterson said that Brock Purdy he kind of tells what he's going to go to on the field during his podcast. He said, those guys with podcasts they were just saying random stuff,
Yeah.
Fernando. Uh, but I guess Brock Purdy remembered that they say he tells a lot, and then both touchdowns to Ayuk, who was in coverage, Patrick Peterson. And then Brock Purdy in the press conference was like, "Yeah, I think there were two. They were against Patrick Peterson. Yeah, I think so." And so, he used that as bulletin board material. And from what I read, he's like, he has kind of some like I don't want to give him say this, but he has that killer instinct where like Tom Brady, like all he cares about is football, and he's gonna stomp on you. He kind of has a little bit to it, but I get it. That's kind of a high bar.
Well, I mean, that's what you need. But Morgan, the season is early, but the 49ers are playing hard on all three phases of the ball. That's completely right. I mean, we'll see what they play the Rams next weekend in LA. I'm interested to see what that stadium is going to look like, but definitely going to be a test. But I agree with you on that. Like if Brock Purdy can have that killer instinct, then I'm definitely all in and I want to see what he does moving forward. But before we head out, Gilbert, who is your compa of week one?
Well, I told myself in my head that if I go first, I'm gonna take your guy, and you brought him up, but I also was impressed with him. Brandon Ayuk, man, the 2 touchdowns, 8 receptions, 129 yards, and to embarrass Patrick Peterson not once but twice on a route where he fell, and then on the fade to just get the ball in on the contested catch there. Ayuk, I think he's a real deal, and he gets overlooked a lot from playing with Kittle, McCaffrey, and Debo. So you're right there to tell people that Ayuk's the guy to go to. So he's my compo of the week so far.
Drake Jackson, 3 sacks.
Oh, you
Impressive.
going
I'm gonna
49ers?
go defense. I'm gonna go
Okay.
defense. Yeah, no, definitely. You know what? I'm gonna pull a book at it. Well, no. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with Drake Jackson defense. I thought he had a great game, 3 sacks. Very impressive. And man, right off the bat, you get 3 sacks. Let's see what you can do now moving forward. And like I said, everybody's gonna be focused on Javon Hargrave, on Nick Bosa. Who else is going to be able to get open and make those plays? So I think it's going to be them. I think he's going to be a guy that is going to make
Dude,
plays. So
it's like a factory out there in Santa Clara for pass rushers, man. It's
anybody
wild.
they draft, anybody they sign, automatically turns into one. And but like, look at what DeForest Buckner did yesterday. I think he scored. I think he did a scoop and I don't think he scored. He might have scored.
Yeah, I think it is. I think you're right.
Yeah, like that's like those. That's a guy that the 49ers drafted. So definitely impressive. But folks, this is not. I know you guys are thinking, oh, this is Compas on the Beat, the episode of the week. It is not. We are going to be doing this all season if time permits, right, Gilbert? We're going to be
Yeah,
doing this.
yeah. Go live. I like the engagement questions.
Yeah, we're going to be going live every single Monday. Make sure you guys jump on, jump in. We will be talking probably about the four most interesting things that we saw or games or whatever we feel like that day. Again, we appreciate all the comments, everybody who jumped in, everybody who had a comment, who was engaged. We can't wait to keep on doing it every single Monday. Again, if you guys have any questions, make sure you guys leave it in the comments. We'll try and answer them. We'll answer them here on Mondays as well. So make sure you jump on. Wednesday, the Compas on the Beat will be dropping their episode, though. It'll be a little bit different. It'll be more engaging with Gilbert, Dan and Dago, Victor Producer, and myself. So make sure you guys check that out. We'll be having all that stuff. We'll be asking the guys what they thought about the week. We'll also be having avocado roast as well and burial of the week, obviously. So you guys can check all that out. Dan and Dago's not in a good mood, so you guys won't want to miss the episode. Gilbert, he asked me, how are we letting somebody who's high on the sidelines take advantage of our offense or of our defense? I just started laughing. I'm like, oh my God. So Dan is not a happy Chargers fan. But make sure you guys tune in. But for the time being, again, we appreciate you guys so much. Don't forget to follow us, like, comment, subscribe. Let your compas know what your compas on the beat are doing. Thank you guys so much. Gilbert, ¿sabes qué? Vámonos.
Yeah, and real quick for Dan, he started off pretty strong with the Chiefs losing on Thursday Night Football, and then he ended pretty rough. But we'll get to Dan in a day.
By the way, Joe Morley texted me a picture. He's like, "Is there something wrong with these AFC West standings?" And I'm like, "Oh my god!" And it's obviously the Raiders at top. I'm like, I just started laughing. I'm like, "I hope you enjoy it and take a screenshot and frame it because that might be the last time." And he starts laughing, and he's like, I have to give everybody crap on this. I'm like, I can't wait to see your TikTok videos.
Well, hopefully we get to the Raiders on Tuesday or Wednesday. I keep forgetting the day. But yeah, it's a new format, and I appreciate you guys jumping on to engage here with the comments. That was fun. We'll try to do it every Monday, and check out the one with all four of us also dropping later this week. But plenty of options. You came for the Chargers, you got some today, but you want full 24/7 coverage, check out What's Up Bolt. If you care for the rounds, check out House of Horns. And we've been dropping the ball, but if you want combat sports, we're going to give it to you on Combat Compas. But on that note, Fernando, ya nos vamos, pues vámonos. Yeah. Wow, what an ending.